Hello, welcome. It's Lotus, Art of Sacred Embodiment. Happy to have you here, and thank you for all of the new subscriptions. I appreciate that. If you have not checked out the live stream that we did on light language on Saturday, then I invite you to do that and enjoy that information. Just a peek into the light language world and some of the perspectives and ways in which light language supports us. There's a myriad of ways, and we're learning more all the time. So hop on over there if you haven't seen it and enjoy it. There's an activation in it as well. Today, what I want to talk about is the full moon tomorrow, and then we have the new moon on the 29th, and both of these are eclipses. So we are now officially into the eclipse portal, and the eclipse portal kind of really just opens the door for moving us through spring equinox, winter solstice, summer solstice, Lion's Gate, right? So this is a big door that we get to begin walking into. One of the things about this time of year that I love is that after coming out of the winter, right? The winter, we do a lot of that inner work. It's that internal, inner darkness, hibernation time, where ideally, right, if we're working with the rhythms and the cycles of nature and the cosmos and the solstices and equinoxes, nature tells us, it reflects to us how to best stay in our own inner balance and harmony, and in that balance and harmony with life. So we're coming out of that deepening of our inner world time. And so my hope is that you went inside, you did whatever healing work maybe needed to be done, just deeper reflection, deeper integration, perhaps, of 2024. And now you're coming out fortified with new inner wisdom, right? With a greater connection to self, to source, to life in general. And that is the perfect jump off point for the summer months, for the spring and the summertime. And that is all about moving out into the world, engaging more outwardly. Both of these have to do with relational intimacy. The relational intimacy with those deepening parts of self during the winter, relationship with darkness, relationship with perhaps our own shadows. And then we come into relationship with the self, rebirthed, coming out into the sunshine, coming out into expression, coming out into and from a know thyself more deeply place, so that we move forward with 2025, this year, in a much more enlivened, energized, rejuvenated space and place. The eclipses mark our, you could call it, we're coming through the birth canal in a lot of ways. And so this eclipse season, what I'm going to offer is 3 different videos. And I'm going to offer light language activations and amplifications each week. So we're going to have the first one this week, either later today or tomorrow, the next one the following week, and then on that 3rd week, when we come into the new moon, we're going to get another one. And what this is doing is, this is moving us through many cycles and many planetary motions right now. We have a lot of planets that are on the move, some that are stationary that are going to be coming moving direct after a retrograde. We're in a Venus retrograde right now. What I like to do is, if you're interested in the astrology, then there are so many people out there doing the astrology, and it can be really informative for sure. My focus is to alert us to these activities. I'm not an astrologer, so I don't go deeply into it, but I'm all about the embodiment, right? I'm all about that relational intimacy with the expressions of the planets, with the qualities of the planets, the ways in which they are impacting us, informing us, teaching us, guiding us, reflecting back aspects of ourself. And so right now we're in the Venus retrograde. I've been a little partial to this, as I shared in another video. The Venus retrograde really brings us into our own inner feminine connection more deeply, and brings about what is working for us from the feminine energetics of love, of beauty, of abundance, of prosperity. How are we relating with the flow, with this deeper feminine relationship to the flow of life, meaning the flow of these planets and the processions that we are a part of. As these planets are moving, and because we are in a very speedy year, I'm doing 3 activations each week to support some of your own intentions and your own processes. So here's a couple things that we can be keeping in mind for this portal. All right, so again, this is going to be, like tomorrow through Friday. We could say today through Friday, and then we've got the 29th of March, so the 28th, the 30th of March are going to be heightened energetics. And whatever you're beginning to sense your seeds are for your own inner transformation, those qualities of being that are asking to be matured, upgraded, more deeply aligned, more, even those things that we know are in our highest good, but maybe we're a little shy, right? So maybe we're being called to step out into the world more publicly, but there's a little bit of self-consciousness, lack of confidence, that type of thing. So what we're doing is we're working with those inner qualities that then will help to create the outer world. And then we're going to move them through these phases over the next 3 weeks together. So with that being said, here's what we can look at. Some of the ways that we can begin to recognize the energies that we can learn from during this portal. So one of the first things has to do with so many cycles closing out. Cycles after cycles after cycles. So if you're recognizing that phases of your life, relationships of your life, behaviors in your life, if these things are starting to come to an ending, even maybe an abrupt ending, yes, this is what we want to see happening. We want to be dropping the baggage of what no longer serves us. people, places, things, activities, behaviors, thought patterns, emotional patterns. And we want to allow the light language and the eclipse to reboot us, right? It's like unplugging a computer and plugging it back in, right? Or allowing your computer to upgrade. So this is part of what the eclipse does for us, and then the light language begins to help us receive all of the energies from these divine higher frequencies that are here to assist us during these windows. So endings, let them go, let them fade away. We haven't hit spring equinox yet. So we're literally just in the birth canal. We aren't birthing yet. So, from the birth canal, we're kind of coming out of that womb space, the time of gestation that's been happening through the winter. And now movement is starting to happen, but we may still feel some constraint, right? We're not quite motivated yet. We're not quite getting the clearer picture of what is it that's really calling to me? Why can't I see this into a fuller form yet, so to speak? It's not time. So we want to take the endings and we want to feel that sacred pause. We want to rest. We want to allow a spaciousness around us, just like we talked about in the Venus retrograde. We want to feel that spaciousness and allow that space element, which is where everything truly is birthed, in that quantum realm. We want to allow that space-time to let us just continue to release more subtle layers that we might not be aware of, allow integration to happen, and allow divine breakthroughs, insights, and epiphanies to take place, right? We aren't the doer in this space. We're simply allowing the divine to sort of like get our juices flowing, right? Get our motion prepping to move out for spring equinox. And this is part of what the eclipses are doing for us. The other thing, a couple other things that we can be watching for has to do with paying attention to the small details, the subtleties of your world, your inner world and your outer world. Allow during this sort of sacred pause, allow yourself to become aware of more subtle messages that are finding their way towards you, that are whispers of the divine. And they're not going to bowl you over, because we're in a time where we're being invited to sensitize ourselves to our own soul process. So just begin to pay attention. What are you drawn to? What do you kind of feel a repelling to that maybe you haven't before? What are you feeling like out of nowhere inspirations, right? This goes with those epiphanies. Be on the watch for what your body is needing. So from the functional medicine perspective, during the eclipse times, physically our body is going to go through more stress, all right, because we're going to have new light codes coming in that are going to want to be integrated. We've got the eclipses happening, which are, they're quick shifts. And so our nervous system and how we're digesting the energetics of what we take in on all levels. everything we consume, everything we take into our consciousness through our eyes, through our smells, smell, um, sense of smell, all of this is energy, and all of it has a vibration and frequency. So if you're taking in information or people, places, things, events, environments that don't feel that good, right? That they kind of drag you down. They kind of they don't give you that uplifted, free feeling. Instead, they make you feel constricted and not quite a sense of ease, and they start to trigger worry or doubt, fear, any of that. You want to start unplugging from those and shift your attention to those things that are going to move you into more of your true alignment in your true self. Because our true self is truly more joy, more peace, right? More celebration, more love, more beauty, more faith and trust. So we want to be digesting those and really beginning to embody those qualities. The last thing that we want to talk about is water. During any kind of influxes of higher frequencies and light, water becomes essential. So one of the things that we talked about in the elemental alchemy journey, when we worked with the water element, had to do with water carries memory and stores memory, and it holds light. And so if you go back to the light language call, Let's Talk Light Language, from Saturday, we talk a little bit about our body with increasing levels of light is trying to hold more light consciousness. And it needs water. We need to be hydrated to do this. Our cells, right? Our tissues, our muscles, our brain, our skin, all of this, we need more water, because water is that beautiful anchoring and holding of, it's like the keeper of this information. So we want to stay hydrated over these next 3 weeks in particular. So with that, I think the last thing that I want to say, and then I'm going to put the information for these 3 activations that you can receive below in the description box, and there will be links for that. So on the tail of the light language class that we did on Saturday, what I want to emphasize is that the world now, as it's changing so quickly, and literally as we are becoming more and more impacted by all of the planetary shifts, the celestial realm is calling for us to be uplifted and integrate these higher consciousnesses, including that of the earth. As the earth is continuing to expand, we're receiving these energies from her as well. The more that we don't have to know every detail, for instance, right, about every planet or every astrological cycle. But what we do want, if you are called to come into this next level heightening of our ascension or awakening process, is that we become willing to be in relationship, right? So we become willing to open to the wisdom of the heavens and of the cosmos. And simply by opening to receive, those light codes are going to flow towards us because we're aligning our heart and soul with our evolution, and we're saying yes, we're giving consent. Consent is a huge thing. All right? We're giving consent to be in relationship with this process, right? The process of ascension or awakening is its own intelligence and its own consciousness. We aren't separate from it, but we can either be in relationship with it consciously, or it can kind of play in the background, of our own world, and we're not going to get the more deeply aligned benefits to assist our overall coherence, which is why we're doing more light language now. Because we want to be activating our body, our system, our brain, our nervous system, our ability to be embodied. We want to be holding all of this in the expanding octaves of light and sound and coherence that continue to align us with our divinity, our soul's presence, and divine source. So that is very cool, I believe. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you on these next 3 videos, hopefully, so that we can all do this journey together with the cosmos, with the eclipse, with the processions taking place, and divinely align into our true, highest expression. All right. Many blessings. Much love. See you soon.